89.1 FM, streaming live 24/7 at ames.edu/radio, Ames Student Radio, the way radio should be. Hello everyone, I am back. I didn't start my show last week because I'm stupid, but I am here today. My name's Anna, if you didn't know me. I was here last semester and the semester before. This is a little bit later time than I played before, but I hope you do listen to me because I think I'm cool, and you might think that too. Unless you don't think I'm cool, then that's cool too. I will get you back to some music. We have Chickenfoot, which is a funny name, and Switchfoot, it's funny, they're both like the same, coming up next for you, and we have Audio Slave and Linkin Park as well. So stick around. This is Ames Student Radio, the way radio should be. 89.1 FM, Ames Student Radio, the way radio should be. That was Champagne by Cavo, C-A-V-O. I don't know how to say it. Anyway, I have my word of the day for you. If you didn't know, and if this is your first time listening to me, actually, I just named my show. I don't know why I'm so dumb. I forgot. I named my show is called The Metal Corner with Anna Marie because I'm cool, and decided finally named my show because the last 2 semesters I didn't have a name. But I finally thought of a really cool name while I was in the car the other day, dozing off or whatever I was doing. But that is my name of my show, The Metal Corner with Anna Marie. Anyway, I have my word of the day for you, and if you don't know about my show or whatever, I try to do a word of the day every day of my show. Usually it's words that I make up or my family makes up because we're weird and do that. Or it's like words that kind of relate to like a story I have or something. Today is more of like, it's a real word that relates to a story I have. And as usual, you'll have to let me explain my word of the day because you'll be like, that's really stupid. But give me a second. So my word of the day today is me. Like referring to myself. I'm doing that because my word of the day, I'm not because I'm selfish or something, but my word of the day is me because I wanted to tell you guys about myself, if you didn't know me very well. So let's see, there's a handful of things that are about me. Obviously, I'm saying, I'm not just doing this radio show just because I think it's fun. 1, it is really fun. But 2, I'm studying to do radio production because I really want to, and I think it's awesome. I love to make people laugh, but I'm super introverted, so I think this is a great outlet for me to be able to do that without having to stand in front of a crowd of people and talk to them. So that's that. I have a mohawk, and I love it to death. I remember the day I got it cut. It was like over a year ago now. It was just so cool because I got the sides shaved and I like touched the sides when I got in my car. I was like, it's so short because it's something I've always wanted to do. So I have that, and it's like my favorite thing ever. I have a twin sister, and she's nothing like me. She doesn't look anything like me. She, like, everything about her is nothing about me. Like, we're like polar opposites. So it's kind of weird. Let's see, more about me. So a lot of my show, I talk about metal, rock, and punk music because that's like my thing. I love it, and that's what usually music I will play. It's something about, I like can't play an instrument, which is weird, but I love music, and I love that form of music because I feel like it expresses music in a way that I think music should be created, you know? But that is one of my favorite things ever. Let's see, I love cats. A lot of my stories, I have a lot of funny stories, and a lot of those stories will be about my cats because I'm weird. And I have 4 cats, don't judge me. But they were all rescues, so that gives me a little bit of justification why you can't judge me. But you can judge me if you want, because that's what we do. Let's see, anything else about me? What else about me? My favorite colors are red and black, so I wear a lot of red and black. So that's a thing, even in the summer. So I look a little bit doom and gloom, but I'm not. I act like a child sometimes. It's not like that I'm not immature. I just find joy in very weird things. I love Hello Kitty, which is weird because I hate the color pink. It's so weird. How does that make sense? Though I do really like dinosaurs. If I wasn't studying radio, I probably would be studying to be a paleontologist, which is the study of like older organisms. Because I love dinosaurs, and dinosaurs are like the coolest thing ever. Don't you agree though? Seriously, like dinosaurs. It's just so weird that these like giant animals and stuff like lived forever ago and like existed, but like we don't know what they look like because all we have is their fossils. So I think it's kind of cool. I don't know, it's kind of about it about me. I'm just kind of like one of the weirdest people I've ever met. And I'm super introverted, so if you try to have a conversation with me, I'll probably be really awkward and really weird. So there's that. So this is the Metal Corner with Anna Marie, if you were curious. I'll get you guys back to the music. We have Cage the Elephant, Hailstorm, Kings of Leon, and Theory of a Dead Man, and Shine Down for you. A lot of songs. Anyway, I will get you guys back to the music. I will see you guys later. This is Ames Student Radio, the way radio should be. 89.1 FM, streaming live 24/7 at ames.edu/radio, Ames Student Radio, the way radio should be. This is the Metal Corner with Anna Marie. I remembered to say it this time, so congratulations to me. So you have to bear with me with my show today. I'm trying. My show setup is a tiny bit different than last semester, so I'm trying to figure out the order of what things I want to do. But coming up next, I will have Ames weather and news for you, and I will have my song of the day for you as well. Then after that, I will have my top 10 list, which will be fairly interesting. So stick around for that. Let's see. Coming up next, we have Slash featuring Miles Kennedy and Foreigner for you on Ames Student Radio, the way radio should be. 89.1 FM, Ames Student Radio, the way radio should be. That was Alone Night Break by Korn. I have my song of the day for you today. I've done this song of the day for probably 6 times, but I'm going to keep doing it because I like the song. Sorry, not really sorry. My song of the day today is Welcome to the Family by Avenged Sevenfold. They're my absolute favorite band of all time. And we don't have any of their new songs right now, which kind of makes me sad, but they're really long anyway, so it'd be kind of hard to negotiate. But this is one of my favorite songs ever from one of my favorite albums ever. It's off Nightmare. The only other album that I like better is their White album, the self-titled album. That album's amazing. But so there's that. My song of the day is Welcome to the Family by Avenged Sevenfold. Coming up next after that will be Hailstorm, Civil Twilight, and Three Doors Down. So stick around. This is Ames Student Radio, the way radio should be. 89.1 FM, Ames Student Radio, the way radio should be. This is the Metal Corner with Anna Marie. So I have my top 10 list for you. So usually during every show, I have a top 10 list of some sorts. Sometimes it's musical related, has music in it. Or I talk about something random or something of my opinion of stuff that I like or something. So today, my top 10 list, I figured I would think about the music of last year and what I kind of thought about it. So my top 10 list today is the best albums of 2016. Excuse me, I don't know how to talk today, which is in my opinion. A lot of these albums are of bands I actually like, so I didn't really venture out last year to find new-ish bands, I guess. But most of these albums are bands I've liked for a pretty good amount of time. But a lot of these I have ranked not just based on what I thought, but based on how they did in the public eye. So I'll start with my number 10 for the best albums of 2016, in my opinion. My number 10 is Chevelle, The North Corridor. I liked the album, but it just kind of sounds like the rest of their stuff, which is cool because I have a very unique and cool sound, but it just really reminded me of a lot of their older stuff. So it wasn't really anything new, nothing really exciting, but it was very them. But it was a good album in general. It was written well and done well. My number 9 is Attila with Chaos. I know a lot of people don't like this band, and I'm sorry, but I do like them. I thought this album was interesting because they went a little bit of a different direction. They did some different stuff. A few of their songs have clean vocals, which they haven't done, I don't think, ever. And they have some different styled songs, like Bulletproof is their clean song, I guess. Chris Franzak, the vocalist, does more singing in that song. And they have each song is a little bit different. They have some really heavy songs like Let's Get Abducted. That one's really heavy. But that album is really good. I like that they tried something different and did something new and did try different techniques with their music. And I really like bands that do that because I think it takes a lot of thought and a lot of effort to try to do something kind of different. It's not higher up on my list because it wasn't my favorite vocally. I'm a huge vocals person, but I like his vocals most of the time, his harsher vocals, but I wasn't really a fan on this album. It's not my favorite album of theirs, but it's not my least favorite for sure. But it's a really good album, Attila with Chaos. Number 8 is The Casualties with Chaos Sounds. I liked the album. It was very much like classic Casualties. It sounded just like old Casualties, just a little bit newer. The album came out early last year. You can find it on YouTube if you actually you can find all these albums on YouTube because that's how you do it. I think except for one. No, probably now you can. I like the album though. It's a wonderful album. I think it's the 3rd song on the album. I think. I don't remember what it's called, but I really do like that song. It's really good. It's a really I think it's not really different, but I do like that they embraced their older stuff. They're not trying to change or do anything crazy. So I think I do appreciate that as well. I kind of like a happy medium of changing it up a little bit and like keeping it the same, I guess. But I do like the album. It was really good. I listened to it a little bit again today, and I really enjoyed it. All right, let's see. What's my next album? My next album, I'm trying to type something. Sorry, I'm really dumb. I can't multitask. My next album is number 7, Chelsea Grin with Self-Inflicted. I did actually really like this album. It sounds wonderful. The lyrical styles are a little bit different, and this whole album follows like one entire theme of like it sounds like heartbreak, which kind of makes sense. I understand why the album cover looks the way it does now. It's about him being heartbroken from some girl, but it's a wonderful album. Let's see, what song did I really like? There was a song on here that I really did like. I did really like Never Forever. I think I did really like that one, and I really liked Strung Out. And there's a handful of other ones. I think they released their Clickbait. That was their single that they released, and that's a good one too. It's a really good album, though. It's kind of like their old stuff with a little bit of their new stuff from Ashes to Ashes. It's a very cool technique. I liked it. I've been a huge fan of theirs for a while, and I liked excuse me, I did like the album. It sounds really good, and I like how there's like one central theme throughout, so it's kind of like a concept album. I don't think they would call it that, but I did like it. A bunch of the songs in there are really good. But if you don't really like heavy music, this is not the album for you because it's very heavy. So if you don't like that, then don't look it up. And my last one, this isn't technically an album, but I wanted to include it because I think it's amazing. My number 6 is Lamb of God with their Duke EP. I think the main reason I just really like this album is because of the story behind it. If you don't know the story behind it, Duke was written after a fan who was pretty good friends with Lamb of God had died of leukemia, I believe. And it was really important to Randy Blythe to write an album and a song for him, so he wrote the Duke for him. And this song is really good. It's very, very different from what they've done in the past. It has cleaner vocals, which I think is really cool and really, really unique. To my knowledge, they haven't done a lot of clean vocal work. I know they did some on their last album, which I still cannot pronounce, so I'm not going to try to do it now. But the Duke EP, I think 2 or 3 of the songs are from like live shows, but the rest of them I think 2 of them are new songs, and I really like it. Check it out. At least check out Duke. It's a really good song, and I really like the cause behind it. So there's that. I will stop there. I will tell you my top 5 favorite albums from last year here in a little bit. Coming up next, we have 3 Days Grace, Shinedown, and Seether. So stick around on AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. 89.1 FM, AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. This is The Middle Corner with Anna Marie. What was just playing was The Boss's Daughter by Pop Evil. That's another good band. I've seen them before. They were pretty good. Anyway, I have the rest of my top 10 list. Sorry, my show is kind of weird. The program is all weird today, so I don't know what I'm supposed to be talking, so I'm kind of just guessing, so I'm not talking as much as I would hope to today, but on Wednesday it should be all fine. So the rest, if you didn't know, my top 10 list today was my best albums of 2016, in my opinion. I already did my bottom 5, so I'll refresh you on what those were. Number 10 was Chevelle with The North Corridor. Number 9, Attila with Chaos. Number 8, The Casualties with Chaos Sounds. Number 7 with Chelsea Grin, Self-Inflicted. And number 6 was Lamb of God, Duke EP, because I'm going to count it because it technically counts. If you don't like it, then too bad. Anyway, so my number 5 on my top 10 list of the best albums of 2016, in my opinion. Number 5 is Skillets Unleashed. It's a very interesting album, and I just finished listening to it yesterday and today as a refresher. It's a very interesting album for them. It's very different, and I think it worked out really well for them. It's very poppy, more than like rock-ish. A lot of their stuff has been heavier, not like super heavy, but they're a rock metal band. But a lot of their songs have a lot more pop and electronic elements in it, which is very interesting. Feel Invincible has a little bit of it. Famous has a lot of it in it. And I think Burn It Down does too. But It's very interesting for them. It's still rock and like metal, but it has a lot of pop influences and a lot of electronic stuff in it. So it makes it for a very interesting sound for them. This album did really well. They were at the top of the Christian charts like for a couple weeks. They were like number one. This album, it is really good. I like it. I really like the Resistance, Feel Invincible, obviously, and Back from the Dead. I like those ones. But it's just a very interesting album from them. It's a little bit different. It's almost more of what I would what I would expect when somebody told me it's a Christian metal band. But it's an interesting album, and I think it worked out really well for them. This album. I know they had taken a lot of time to write this album, so I think it did work out for them in a really good way. Number 4 is Periphery 3, Select Difficulty. This album is really good. So if you didn't know, Periphery is a gent band. It's spelled Djent, but you don't say the D, or progressive metal, whatever you want to call it. This is their 5th album, and they put out albums pretty quickly. It's kind of weird, but it is really good though. They were nominated for Best Metal Performance in the Grammys. Obviously, they didn't win, but it's really cool that they got nominated. This album actually is really good. They have a lot of very cool elements and layers to their albums, and this album is no different. It's really good. It came out earlier last year, July 22nd. I really liked Motormouth. They always have weird names for their songs. I liked Motormouth, Habitual, Line Stepper. Let's see, there was another one. The very first one, The Price is Wrong, and I liked Loon. This album is just really good. It was a really good work of all of the members together because they're all very talented people. It mixed all their old stuff, and it's like them taking their old stuff and making it better. It's a really, really good album. I would recommend going and listening to it. And their music video for Marigold, I think, is pretty funny. So you should check it out. Number 3 is A Day to Remember with Bad Vibrations. This album is really good. And a lot of people have liked it. Loudwire was talking to Jeremy McKinnon, who is the vocalist, and he said, and I quote, "We completely changed the way we wrote, recorded, and mixed this album. It was one of the most unique recording experience we've ever had." And it worked out really good for them. This album is amazing. It has a lot of their older, like, the feel is like a lot of their older stuff, but with a lot of like newer thinking stuff. I really like Paranoia. It's very heavy. Like almost every other song, if you listen to the album in order, it's like a heavy song and a lighter song and a heavy song and a lighter song. Almost all of them are like that. And I like they're like the only band I think that I've ever heard of that is able to mix two complete different genres together. They put a pop punk and metalcore together, and it's amazing that you can put the two together. They do a really good job. I really like this album. Like I said, I like Paranoia. Exposed is a good one. Negative Space is a good one. And then Naivety, I think, is how they say it in the song. I don't know how to say it. But this album is really good. I know a lot of other band members of other bands really like this album as well. I do really like this album. You should go check it out. My number 2 is Korn with The Serenity of Suffering. It literally took me forever to figure out how to say serenity for some reason, because I'm an idiot, I guess. I don't know. But God, this album was awesome. They came out in October of last year, and it feels like longer than that, but it's a really, really good album. I don't think they've toured here yet with that album, which is kind of weird, yeah. But it's a crazy good album. It takes like their older stuff with their newer stuff and mixes it, minus like the dubstep-y electronic stuff. It's a heavy, heavy, heavy album. I know I've talked about this album before, and you're probably tired of hearing it, but it's a really good album in my opinion. It's just really raw and heavy, and just the way they mixed it was really simple, but just really in your face and very impactful. I love Rotting in Vain. The lyrics are awesome. A Different World is a good one. That one features Corey Taylor. Take Me, that's stuck in my head all the time. It's a really good album. And the album artwork, I forget what it means, but it's really interesting. But just, I really like Korn because they're not afraid to do something different. Like all their albums, they reach out and do something crazy, a little bit different. And this album is no different. It's extremely heavy, but they bring back a little bit their older stuff, so I do really like it. So you should check that one out. And my number 1 favorite album of all time is Avenged Sevenfold with The Stage. Not because I didn't list this as my number 1 because they're my favorite band. I could have easily done that, but that would be really biased. But I listed this album because of the amazing work that was put into this album. This album is their longest album. I think it's 73 minutes long. Or longer, I don't remember. But it's crazy long, but all the songs really good. They used a different recording process and they wrote differently for this album, and it's awesome. It worked out really well for them. I know a lot of people didn't really enjoy it or understand it, but after you give it a couple of listens, it's an amazing album. I think personally, I love all these songs. The one song on there that I really like, I don't think I can say on the radio, so I'm not going to. But this album's amazing, just from the way they wrote it and the way they produced it. And I really liked that they did a surprise drop. Like, they just dropped it one day. They had, like, a surprise thingy that they were doing. They played live on the top of Capitol Records, and then they dropped their album. No other metal band has ever done that, ever. They took inspiration from, like, Beyonce, and somebody else. Who was it? Somebody else also surprise dropped their album. They're like, well, why can't we do it? So they did it. Their sales were down from their last album, from Hail the King, but I think this album is way better, in my opinion, than their last album. It's just crazily talented. They just took the time to really think of how to write something that's just really cool, and I like how they took the time to actually write a really good album. And I like that their last song, Exist, has Neil deGrasse Tyson talking at the end of it, which is super cool. They have an awesome music video for the stage. It's very different. It has, like, puppeteers showing history of the world. It's just a really crazy album, the way they have attacked it. They're on tour right now in Europe, which I think is interesting that they toured first in Europe, because usually American bands, I've noticed as a trend, not always, but usually when they release an album, they tour in the US first and then go to Europe. But they didn't this time. But what they've been doing, which is really cool, is they have a really unique setup for the stage. They have this huge, like, cube-shaped screen and, like, two other screens for when they're playing live. They have, like, two special VIP spots. And then throughout their tour, they open, like, random little stores. And I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Lauder's convenience store or something. But they open up essentially, a general store, that's the word I meant. And they set up, like, this store full of their merchandise and, like, limited edition stuff. And then sometimes they have meet and greets. So I think I highly respect them for doing something really different, and I really like it. So that is my number one favorite album of all time. You don't have to agree with me on my list, because this is my favorite albums, but those were my favorite ones from last year. I'll get you guys back to the music. We have Linkin Park and The Offspring coming up for you on AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. 89.1 FM, AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. This is the Metal Corner with Anna Marie. This is the last part of my show. I know today's show is kind of weird. I apologize, but Wednesday it'll be a lot more organized and better, and I will know when to talk. But anyway, this is the last part of my show. I figured I'd tell you what I did over the break. I didn't really do anything very exciting, per se. It was kind of just a nice break to sleep in and relax and not have to do too much stuff. Let's see. So what did I do over the break? So more recently, like 2 weeks ago now, I got my nose pierced. I did the double piercing, which actually wasn't that bad. It didn't hurt nearly as bad as, like, my ear did. I got an industrial bar, and that hurt so bad. I think it was the sound more than anything, but that hurt really bad. But I did get my nose done. It bled a little bit, but the guy explained to me that it bleeds a little bit. But you know what's weird is that you cry, like, automatically. He, like, pierced my nose and I started crying. And he said because apparently they're, like, all like your nose and your eyes and stuff are all connected. So, like, after when you get your nose pierced, you, like, cry. And he was telling me a funny story about how some people try really hard not to cry. And it happens so naturally, like, you're supposed to cry. So I was like, oh, he was right. And then he started crying, so it was kind of funny. That's also the reason why I didn't do my show last Wednesday, because my nose ring broke, so I went and got it fixed. And he saved my life. Not really. All he had to do was put the ball back on. But whatever. Let's see, what else did I do? So for Christmas, my favorite gift ever is this little fidget cube. So you've probably seen it all over Facebook. But this little fidget cube gives you, like, 6 sides of things to do, because, like, I fidget all the time and I literally can't sit still, and I'm, like, a nervous wreck all the time. For some reason. So, like, each side gives you something to do. Like, one side you can just, like, rub your thumb on, but, like, the other side has, like, a light switch on the side of it, so you can play with that. And then another side has, like, a game controller, like the little thing you use with your thumbs. I don't know what it's technically called. There's, like, one of those on there, so you can play with that. And there's, like, 5 buttons on another side. And then let's see, on another side there's like a ball and like some switchy, scrolly things. Let's see, what else? And then there's this other side is like a dial that you can flip around. It's like my favorite thing ever, and I take it with me everywhere because otherwise I think I would be like upside down and backwards, because it just like kind of keeps me in order and keeps me calm and makes me feel better. It's like the weirdest thing though. It makes me so happy though that I got it for Christmas. You should get one if you want one. I love it to death. My mom like found it like somewhere cheaper. I don't remember where she got it, but there's a handful of places you can get them at. If you see it on Facebook, you can follow that link or try and find something else. It's called a fidget cube. Let's see. I went and saw Mushroom Head at the Summit. That was back in December. They were awesome. I felt really bad because I made my twin sister Emma go, and she doesn't even know who they are because I don't have any friends to go with me. So I made her go, and she sat like, if you have been to the Summit, she like sat in like the seating area with like the seats where you can eat your food. She like sat over there the whole time. But it was an awesome concert. They did a really good job. I was up front. I got to meet Church again, which is cool. I could have bought VIP tickets to meet the whole band, but then I was stupid and didn't realize I could do that. But then I got to meet Jackie, which was awesome because she's really cool. I got to sing part of the songs with her. Which song was that? I don't remember which song that was. But I got to sing part of a song with her. And I got soaking wet because I have water drums, so that was really cool too. That was probably my 4th time seeing them, I think. But they're one of my favorite bands to go see. They're so fun and really cool. The people behind me were acting like animals, so I had to fight them off, which was fine because I'm pretty good. Because I teased my mom I have pointy elbows, so I fought them off with my pointy elbows. So that was really fun. And then lastly, I started a YouTube channel. So if you liked my shows in the past, or you like me in general, I started a YouTube channel so you can listen to my past shows. I can't talk. My YouTube name's Anna the Radio DJ. That's my name on Instagram as well. But then you can go listen to my past shows. I have them all edited, so you can listen to them if you would like to. So that was really exciting. It took me a while. I didn't get nearly as much done as I wanted to, but I did do that. That's kind of it, though. The rest of my break was me sleeping and working on like household stuff or whatever. Nothing too exciting. Oh, and I went to the stock show. That was fun too. My family goes every year. We go and see the rodeo and wander around. So I did that with my mom, so that was fun. We had 4th row seats to go see the rodeo on one night, so that was that one Thursday night. The first Thursday of the stock show, we went and saw that, and that was awesome. The year before, we had like the second row seats, so that was really cool too. Through my mom's work, she got those, so that was exciting. All right, so I will leave you guys to be. Hope you guys have a nice night. I'm gonna head home and do whatever I do when I'm at home. I do promise though my next show will be better because today's show was kind of weird, and I was trying to get it planned, and the program's all funky and whatever. And today's my first day back, so I promise on Wednesday it'll be much better. I'm more warmed up, and everything should be all square and good. So I'll see you guys then. Come see me on Wednesday at 3 o'clock, and I will see you later. Coming up next, we have 3 Days Grace, Foo Fighters, Trapped in Lincoln Park for you on AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be.